time for Law and Disorder.
I demand a lawyer.
With attorney Jeff Kaufman on 101.1 WJRR.
We are Orlando's rock station. We welcome in Jeff Kaufman, partner at Kaufman Lynd, local attorneys firm there, specializing in personal injury. If you or someone you know has been injured, car accidents, slip and fall, something of that nature, Jeff's a good resource. Good sounding board, Taco Bob.
Yeah, direct email for Jeff is jeff@whenyouneedus.com. Again, jeff@whenyouneedus.com or pound 546 on your cell.
What's going on, Jeff?
Cool. Caught Nick Bergazzi, comedian at the Kia Center. Saw Shaq get his jersey retired. It's been a good week.
Yeah,
good week.
Pretty solid, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That's cool that you that so many people with the Shaq retiring the jersey, that so many people stayed for that after the game.
An hour and a half, yeah.
Even though it was going so late on a weeknight, that was cool to see.
To be part of that, my first Magic game, I saw Shaq, and my last Magic game, I saw Shaq, so that's cool.
All right. Jeff, can I run something by you real quick? I saw
Absolutely.
in the news here. I just want to know if this guy has a hope or a prayer of winning this claim.
He might have both.
In January of last year, a guy in Washington, D.C. named John Cheeks bought a Powerball ticket. He checked the winning numbers online a day after the drawing, and they matched. The jackpot was $340 million.
Oof, good for him.
The D.C. lottery posted the wrong winning numbers. His ticket actually did not match what the real winning numbers were. He's now retained legal representation and says he's entitled to the $340 million.
No. Sorry. You know it's an accident. The question is, what are his damages? He never won in the first place.
But he got his hopes up really high.
And what are your damages on hopes? Okay, let's be straightforward. My hopes got up. Okay, I get it.
Did he go out and buy some stuff, maybe, Pat?
He's got an attorney who says there's precedent for this and that it happened once in another state and they paid him out.
Yeah, I don't. Precedent only applies really to the state you're in and to the actual people who are doing it. A local lottery who pays in Arkansas is not New York or wherever, D.C. or wherever it was.
Well, this is Powerball, which is a nationwide, multi-state.
But did the national Powerball screw it up, or did the local Powerball?
Local.
Okay, so Powerball, who pays out, they're not going to pay out on a claim because, let's say, Poughkeepsie screwed up and put it in the Poughkeepsie paper.
Yeah, because they had their intern.
Or the Orlando Sentinel posted the wrong number, so they're on the hook for $360 million.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, it makes sense when you're the one who's got the ticket.
Yeah, sorry about your luck, John Cheeks.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Cheeks, but just because the Poughkeepsie whatever screwed up doesn't mean that the national company, that'd be like Sears, a local Sears company doing something like that and saying, yeah, you won the $500 million. They're going, no, it was a mistake. It was a misprint, something like that.
That's like having that. They had the intern who's dyslexic put the numbers in, and here you go.
Yeah, the local guy screwed up the numbers doesn't mean the national guy's responsible for a $360 million payday.
Got it. Ask Kaufman if it's legal. Okay, this one's a little deep to understand, but is it legal for this person's employer to knowingly charge a customer an extra fee on their credit card, okay? Then issue the money back to the customer as a credit on their account with their company? Like, look, let's just say I'm buying a refrigerator, Kaufman.
Right.
And they issue me a credit on my, or an extra fee for, let's say, warranty on my credit card.
Yeah.
And then they give me that money back as a credit.
They can do something. What they decide to do with their money, if it's a realistic charge, let's say my fees are $100, and I decide to give you $10 of that back. Mm-hmm. Sure, why not?
It's up to you.
It's up to me if I want to give you money back. Now, if it's a scheme to defraud the credit card company, that's a whole different thing.
Did I hear the word unknowingly in there?
It's illegal for my employer to knowingly.
Oh, knowingly.
Mm-hmm.
Knowingly.
So they charge. They have a fee. They have an extra fee they add on. It's like costs. I have costs on some of my things, for example, like copy costs or shipping costs or something like that, and I decide to give it back to you later. That's my choice to give it back to you.
Okay.
Shop.
Now, like I said, if it's an intent to defraud the credit card company, that's on them.
You hear Pat over there.
So just move on. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole with this morning. I couldn't help myself.
For Jeff, what kind of lawyer do you hire to defend yourself against a false accusation of sexual harassment?
Basically, a general practitioner, a business attorney. What they're doing is, what they're saying is that it could be a employment attorney too, because it looks like this is a business. Sexual harassment normally applies in the business area, not in, like, let's say you walked into a club. So if I have to guess, this might be a business issue. So you might need to speak with a business attorney and an employment attorney.
Okay. Hello, it's Eric. If you were a passenger in a car involved in an accident and they received a ticket for careless driving, can you still take driver of the other vehicle to court for your injuries that you sustained?
Well, it depends who has caused the accident. If they're partially responsible for the accident, possibly. But in the state of Florida, it's a 50% issue. So the person who caused the accident has to be more than 50% responsible for you to recover. So in this case,
his driver was the one that...
Your driver, it sounds, was more than 50% responsible. But like I said, it's definitely not your issue. So yeah, definitely contact an attorney and see what you can do. But definitely it's on the guy who was driving that car too. He's not going to walk. So if he's your friend and you go, well, I'll just sue the other driver, it's not going to work like that. There are other insurance companies going to try to bring him in.
Hey, I saw this crazy story over the weekend, speaking of who pays for what, involving a vehicle accident. Woman was sitting at a stoplight, like in an interchange. This was somewhere in South Florida, I believe, this weekend. And police were chasing a juvenile running from the cops in a Mercedes. Kid goes up the I-95 entrance ramp, takes the turn too fast, flips it over. Car drops below onto the woman's SUV sitting at the stoplight below. Ugh. Everyone walked away. No one was killed or anything. But the car was destroyed. Both cars destroyed. Yeah. What happens in a situation like that?
First off, in the state of Florida right now, a lot of counties have rules as far as chasing cars because they know people are going to get hurt. Civilians are going to get hurt. I had a case just like this where a police car was chasing another car just like this, and he basically rammed into our client. He was just parked the same way. It's not worth chasing people anymore. You got helicopters, you can get them from a distance. High-speed pursuit in local areas gets people killed, and that's less important than catching the guy who stole the car.
Well, no one was killed in this instance.
But I mean, in a situation like that, normally it could apply to the police officer. Definitely the police force is told not to do high-speed pursuits and stuff like that. So if the person driving winds up, doing something like that, and it can be shown that the police should not have been chasing him. And I know people are going to say, well, Jeff, police are supposed to chase people. No, they're not. Well, there are county ordinances that make it very clear, don't do this.
I do not know if there was a policy in place for this local police department that was involved as far as high-speed chases. I don't know that information.
But who would the lady go after? I think is the question. She can't go after the kid.
She goes after. Remember, we've talked about uninsured motorist a bazillion times, and this is an uninsured motorist case too. When you get hit by somebody in a stolen car or something, their insurance company's not going to pay unless this guy gave the keys to his buddy or left the car running and just walked in and something like that. So it's either going to go to your uninsured motorist or it's going to go to the local police force who, maybe shouldn't have been chasing this guy. And I know people are listening and going, well, Jeff, it's our job to chase people. The statistics are it's just so dangerous to the average bystander in situations. How many bystanders have been killed because of high-speed pursuits? And, make sure it's important. Like some crimes are definitely, yes, armed robbery. Car theft, not that important in comparison to somebody else's life. So we gotta prioritize this stuff.
All right. I have a fake roofing contractor who made a fake contract under somebody else's license and stole $5,000 from my mom. Did not do the roof. What can I do?
Scam.
Well, first off, you can contact the state attorney's office. You have to be licensed in the state of Florida to do stuff like that. So contact whatever licensing board applies to roofing. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who know exactly who to go to. But yeah, contact the authorities. They can't do this and then file suit because they're not allowed to do it either. So $5,000, it's around small claims. So go after that.
And he's also impersonating somebody else, using somebody else's contractor
it's
number.
A crime. So like I said, contact the local police. They'll say it's a civil issue. You go, no, he's committing fraud here. He lied. This is not a civil. He's not allowed to do this by law.
Yeah.
But, a lot of law enforcement might not consider this too important and say it's a civil issue.
What a dirtbag move.
Time for one more if you can squeeze it in there.
Okay, Jeff, I bought a house built in the 50s, has galvanized plumbing needs
You lost me at galvanized plumbing.
needs replaced. I heard there was a class action suit. Have you heard?
Yeah, I don't know. I got to be honest with you. There are about 1,000 class action lawsuits going at every time, dealing with every medication, every issue. I'm sure there's still a Blockbuster suit out there somewhere. But yeah, I don't know. I apologize.
Just Google it.
Google it. You'll find 700 lawyers who want to sign you up.
All right, if we didn't get to your question, you need an answer right away, you can always reach out to Jeff directly at Kaufman and Lynd, Taco.
Yes, Jeff at whenyouneedus.com. Again, Jeff at whenyouneedus.com or pound 546 on your cell. And for any of these ones at the text line we didn't get to, yes, I'm going to print them out like this one right here.
All right.
Right click, print.
You'll be back next week on Tuesday, you're telling us.
Tuesday, exactly.
All right, Jeff Kaufman from Kaufman and Lynd. Thank you for taking the time to lay down some law and disorder this morning.
Always my pleasure.
Lynch and Taco on demand. Download the iHeart